Good morning. So I got a question about the email. Your number and unit might be a little bit different, but for mine, it's showing medical lab test. You have a 6.7 microliter blood sample. What is the volume in milliliters? So I'm going to show two different ways of going about solving this. I'm not going to get you the answer exactly, but I'm just going to help with the setup. Okay, so first thing to do is just write down the problem. We have microliters, and we're trying to go to milliliters here. All right. One thing I often tell students to do is to make a metric system cheat sheet on the fly. Just pull this totally from memory. Okay, kilo, base, centi, milli, micro, nano. Okay. Let's see, 10 to the 3, 10 to the 0, 10 to the 2, 10 to the 3, 10 to the 6, 10 to the 9. Okay. In terms of scale, if we're giving big numbers to small units, technically we would have to put a -3 for this kilo. But if you're used to giving the big number to the small thing, then it doesn't really matter. So in other words, a lot of people prefer to just not care about that negative exponent there. All right, now back to the problem. We are trying to go from micro to milli. Okay, so we see there is a 10 to the 3 power difference here. Okay, this could be a useful piece of information. Okay, but again, we're going from 10 to the 6 or micro to milli. Okay, so for the first approach, we're gonna go to base unit first. Okay. This is like taking a flight to an airport, a hub airport, where you're going to have a layover before going to the destination. Okay, the base, the hub, is the base unit. Okay, so I have my 6.7 microliters. And like I always say, set up your units before you care about the numbers. Okay. So I'm going to liters first because that is our base. And our ultimate destination is milliliters. Okay. All right. So now we have to consider this conversion factor first. And micro has a 10 to the 6 associated with it. Okay. And micro, it's small, right? We think of micrometers, also known as microns. Okay, they're small little things. Like a hair is 10 to 20 microns wide. Okay, they're small things. Whereas a meter, it's about a yard, about 3 feet, roughly. Okay, so that's the big thing. So we want to consider giving, not consider, you have to, if you're going to use a big number, give it to the little thing, the micron, or microliter in this case. Okay, so we have this part done. For this part, we go back to our metric cheat sheet, and we see milli here with the 10 to the 3rd power. Okay, so it's going to involve a 10 to the 3rd power somewhere. And so who's going to get it? Milli or liter? Who's the smaller? So I'll leave that to your discovery. Who gets the 10 to the 3rd? Of course, the other one, other unit will get the 1. Okay. In this system, it's usually going to be the base unit getting the 1, unless you're dealing with a kilo. Okay, bigger stuff. Okay, but yeah, we went to base, and now we can just solve. Okay. Method number 2. Okay, we're going to do, I call this like a direct flight. we're going to go straight to our destination instead of trying to go to base units. Okay. If you're wondering which method is so-called better, better is not the best word to use, but I usually recommend going to base units first. And it may seem a little longer, but actually I personally do this all the time. It just makes my work easier to understand for me. Okay, so we can attempt to go straight from micro to milli. And the question becomes, we found out earlier there's a 10 to the third power difference between these two. But the big number, this 1,000, 10 to the third power, needs to go to the smaller of the two units. Okay, so that's going to be micro or milli. You'll have to decide that for yourself. Okay, and yeah, and then you just solve. And then you'd end up with milliliters. Okay, so that's for this video. I didn't like choose a different problem similar. I just went over to one that was asked of me, but therefore I didn't want to solve it completely. But hopefully this gives you some things to think about there. Okay, and then you put that into the app. So let me know if you have any questions. Take care.